Welcome everybody to my NFL playoff prediction video for the 2023-2024 season, the final episode in the 2023 Kleschka Picks series. We're going to be starting with the wild card, the divisional round, conference championship, all the way to the Super Bowl. I'm predicting every game, who I think is going to win and who I think is going to lift the Lombardi in just a short amount of time. Let's get started right now. Almost forgot the shades. Always got to have these on for Kleschka Picks. Anyways, first game, we got the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans drafted CJ Stroud, a rookie, and he has taken them to playoffs. He's looked very good. He's looked like the best rookie QB out of that draft class. And then on the other end, there is a veteran, Joe Flacco, been here before, done it, knows the experience of playoffs. And not only does he have all that, he came to the Browns and he's looked good. He's going out there gunslinging, and he's going to have one of his favorite weapons back for this game, Amari Cooper. At least it's on track that he will return for this game. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun. The defense is pretty solid for both squads, but I think just because of the pressure and the inexperience of playoffs in the NFL, I think that is where the Houston Texans are going to bite a little bit, and they're not going to be able to keep up. I think they are going to feel that pressure weighing down on them, and I think it is going to affect their game. I think the veteran leadership of Joe Flacco is going to be huge, and I think the Browns win this game 33-27. Chiefs and Dolphins, both of these teams kind of slowed down the more the season went on. The Chiefs did not look as threatening as we've seen them in past years, especially going into playoffs. This was not a good momentum ride for them, and I could say the same thing about the Dolphins. The Dolphins just kept losing in these games where they had to win, and they gave away the division. They lost it. They had it in their hand all year, and in the final weeks, they dropped it. This week, this wild card game, I think these teams are two heavyweights and have two electrifying offenses. It's just a matter of which one is going to find its spark and turn back into that team. The problem that I saw with the Dolphins all year, they will beat up on all the smaller, weaker teams, but when it came to the bigger competition, it was either down to the final minutes of the game or they lost. They were not able to go toe-to-toe and get the big dubs that they needed on these big threatening teams like the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the weak spot of the Chiefs is their defense, but I think the Chiefs offense is finally going to get back to form. These are the big games. This is the brightest lights, and we know Patrick Mahomes turns it on when it comes to this stage. So I think the Chiefs are going to give up a close game here to the Dolphins, but I think in the end they do win 27-23. Bills and Steelers. The Steelers are somehow in playoffs, somehow had another winning record for Mike Tomlin to keep that streak alive, but they were very inconsistent all year. They did look good in the final weeks of the NFL season, at least better compared to early in the season. The Bills, they did not look as threatening either throughout the season. I've seen them look a lot better, but they did get the division from the Dolphins, and that's got to have them pumped up, have them amped up, on fire. And I just don't think the Steelers are going to keep up with that, especially with hits to their defense, injury bug biting them. I think the Bills are going to start clicking once again. Josh Allen is going to dive into that leadership role, and he is going to take over, and he's going to get the Bills on a good start here against the Steelers, and I think the Bills win 30-17. Packers and Cowboys. Oh man, we've seen this before. Anyways, the Cowboys, they dominated all year long. Dak Prescott looking the best he has ever looked in the NFL, and the defense was amazing for the Cowboys all year. The Packers, they were just fighting to get the playoffs as the season came to an end. Jordan Love looking like he might be the next leader, the next QB, like Aaron Rodgers, like Brett Favre, to take over and build himself a legacy in Green Bay. But he has a tough task in front of him, and I don't think he will be able to keep up. He just doesn't have the talent around him like Dak Prescott does. If we're talking about CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard. On the defense side, you have Micah Parsons. You have Bland, who had a crazy career, historic year, and I think it's going to be too much for the Packers to handle and I think the offense will not be able to keep up with Dallas. So give me the Cowboys winning 31-21. Rams and Lions. I think this is going to be a great game. The storylines are insane. You have the two QBs that swapped homes. Matthew Stafford spent his entire career in Detroit, went over to Los Angeles and won a Super Bowl with the Rams. And then you have the Lions, led by Jared Goff. He was drafted as top talent by the Rams. Then he was moved for Stafford, the guy that went there and won it. He took over his team, and Jared Goff has looked good as the Lions quarterback. He has proved his haters wrong. He has made Detroit look very good with him at the helm, and the offense has looked just as good with him as their leader. And this is going to be two guys who want revenge on their former squads. It's going to be so much fun to watch. This is definitely the game I'm going to have my eye on the most out of all these. And I think Matthew Stafford and the Rams, when it comes down to talent, have better guys. The two rookies are the key factors, the guys that stepped up. They got Puka Nacua. He broke the single-season rookie receiving record and catches this year. And Kyron Williams went nuts as well. I think those two are going to be a great start. And then you got Cooper Kupp, a great leader, to bring those guys in and teach them the ways of the NFL. And I just think the talent outweighs the Lions. And even though I think the Lions are a better defense right now, I think the offense of the Rams is going to be too much to handle. I don't think the Lions are going to be able to go toe-to-toe, and I think the Rams come out of this game winning 30-24. Eagles and Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, they had an up-and-down season, but they did get hot with Baker Mayfield in a handful of their games. They proved their offense can score high, and they can look very threatening. The Eagles, towards the end of the season, did not look threatening at all. They just kept going on a downhill slump. It looked very bad for the Eagles. They do not look like they have it together right now, but with the Buccaneers, their division, it just felt like whoever won that division was like a little participation playoff spot. It was like,
somebody had to win this division, so go ahead, it's you guys.
And I think they're actually going to make this a close game, but I think the reason the Buccaneers are going to fall is because the Eagles are going to get enough done offensively, even though I'm not counting Week 18. That was a disaster. But the Eagles, when they have been in this slump, their offense has been all right. The defense has been giving up a ton of points. I just think the defense is going to fix itself, and I think they're going to be able to stop Tampa Bay, one of the weakest playoff teams in this picture. And I think their offense is going to get shut down in the second half, and the Eagles are going to be able to hold on and win this game 27-20. Now to the divisional round. We got the 49ers and the Rams. These teams just played. Rams pulled it off, but it was backups playing backups. When you got the heavyweights in there for San Fran, like McCaffrey, Debo, Purdy, and they're all connecting, they are hard to stop. They are one of the best offenses in football. And the Rams, they can make that same case. They are very good offensively, but like the Cowboys, the 49ers are also very good on the defensive side of the ball, and I think that is going to be the key factor in this game. I think the Rams will make it close, but this 49ers team obviously got the number one seed in the bye week for a reason. That's because they are one of the NFL's best, but I think they're going to face some good competition here. I think the offense of the Niners is going to be the reason they pull off this victory. I think they have too many weapons to where they will not be able to be stopped by the Rams defense, so give me the 49ers winning 31-27. Cowboys and Eagles, division rivals. The Cowboys, like we've already mentioned, they have that talent. They got so many good players on both sides of the ball. So when you're holding your opponent to a low score and you are scoring high, that is a recipe for victory. And the Eagles, I definitely don't think their defense is as strong as Dallas. And if we know anything from their season matchups, Dallas was in more control the more the season went on. They got their second matchup and the Cowboys put them in their place. The Eagles offense is looking very, very bad in recent weeks. Not the momentum you want to ride on going into playoffs. And even though I think they made it out of the first round, I don't think that'll be the case here against the Cowboys. It's too strong of a team, and I don't think their team is just in the right spot right now, and they don't have that confidence. And even with the playoff victory, I don't think that'll do it. I think the Cowboys believe in themselves so much right now and have so much talent all over that I think they win this game, and I think they win 33-23. This is also going to be a very fun matchup. The Ravens and the Browns. Obviously, Joe Flacco, a Baltimore Ravens legend, now playing for the Cleveland Browns. And then you got Baltimore, who earned the #1 seed, looked like one of the most dominant teams. Lamar Jackson looking like the MVP candidate, had a great year in the Browns. They are definitely a surprise team. Joe Flacco has done a great job ever since he joined the squad, and he has made this offense look great. He's been making use of these weapons who have not been used with other quarterbacks, but I think this is where it stops. The Baltimore defense can definitely shut down any powerful offense. We saw it in the regular season, and I think this team definitely is not on par with some of the league's top offenses. So Baltimore, I believe, is going to make it a nightmare for Cleveland and Joe Flacco. I don't think they're going to let him get his revenge. I think Baltimore is going to pull off this victory pretty easily and win this one 38-13. Chiefs and Bills, we have seen this matchup way too many times, and we know it usually goes towards Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes getting the lucky side of the coin. And these two teams, they have looked way scarier in past years, and they both kind of were just riding through this season on cruise control. They didn't look too crazy, but we know how crazy they can both be. I think at the end of the day, Mahomes is the more high caliber quarterback, and he knows how to play on these bigger stages. Stephon Diggs and his other receivers on that team, but they have not really been too booming to the point where they are blowing out teams. They were barely winning their games against these opponents in the final weeks, and I think the Chiefs are going to be able to barely win against them. I think Mahomes and his offense are more together and understand each other more right now at this point, and I think the Chiefs win 24-20. My NFC Conference Championship is the 49ers and the Cowboys. These are two very similar teams. I've said it all video. They both got the offense. They both got the defense. They got amazing star-studded receivers. They got McCaffrey on one end. You got CeeDee Lamb on the other end. Two superstars who definitely help out their quarterbacks, Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's been playing crazy all year, and we've seen the Niners go up against big teams and handle them, and we've also seen them get handled. We've seen Dallas go up against big teams, and Dak Prescott pretty much puts them in their place. He had one bump in the road with the Dolphins, but Dallas is pretty much in control no matter who they're playing. They can tear apart the bad teams, and they can hold their own against the good teams. And I think this is just going to come down to the defense. Which team is going to play better? And if you ask me, I think it is going to be the Cowboys, because I think they're going to have more of an effect on the 49ers offense than the Niners defense would on the Cowboys offense. We've seen what happens when Brock Purdy and that 49ers offense gets that pressure on them throughout the game. They start to fall apart. And I think that is what's going to happen here. I think Dallas is going to cause them to struggle, and they are just not going to be able to hold it together. And I think we are going to see Dallas and their offense have a pretty good day here against San Fran. So give me the Cowboys moving on to the Super Bowl, winning 31-24. My AFC Championship game, the Ravens and the Chiefs. Like I've mentioned before in this video, the Chiefs definitely have not had that impact that I've seen from them before, but the Ravens, they were a whole different team. They were that scary team making an impact this year, and they are doing it on both sides of the ball. Lamar Jackson is pretty much automatic. He's getting his team either into the end zone or setting up a field goal for one of the league's best kickers in Justin Tucker. And I think that defense is easily going to be able to stop Mahomes and his teammates. I think the offense is going to struggle against Baltimore, and Mahomes is just not going to be able to carry them to the promised land. I think the rest of his team, the rest of the offense is going to let him down. There's going to be plays that are blown by the offense. We've seen it all season, mainly Kadarius Toney, but there's even been games where Travis Kelce didn't step up and make the big impact plays, and I think that's all Baltimore is going to do here. I think Baltimore just knows when they are able to make those big impact plays. Lamar Jackson is able to avoid the struggle and able to keep them together and make sure they don't fall apart. He's always getting points on their drives. The defense is doing their job, and I think Ravens win this matchup 35-20. 2023, sending them to the Super Bowl. And for the Super Bowl, that would make it Ravens and Cowboys. Both of these teams looked great all year, and I have talked about how they are both good offensively, defensively. They look strong on both sides of the ball. They can both hold their own, and I think this is going to be a very, very close matchup. The Ravens and Lamar Jackson have been very good. Obviously, the weapons of the Cowboys, I think, are better. I think Dak has just better receivers, but at the end of the day, it's the guy with the football leading the team, the guy who gets the snap, the quarterback, the captain, and that is Lamar Jackson, who has been on another level. And like I said, no matter what, on these drives, he seems to be getting points for his squad. And these defenses are going to play a key factor. Who is going to be able to shut down the scarier offense? I think the Baltimore defense is going to be able to handle the Cowboys. We've seen the Cowboys go into big opponents and they will pull off the victories, but sometimes they've taken the L. And I think this case, Dallas is going to go up against Baltimore, a heavyweight, and Dallas is going to meet their match. I think the Baltimore offense will get the job done. Their special teams is also pretty good, and I think defensively, Baltimore is going to be able to stop Dallas as the game goes on, where on the other end, I think the defense will tire out for the Cowboys, and I think Baltimore and Lamar Jackson will win the Super Bowl and win this game 30-27. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this final episode of the 2023 Kleschka Picks, my playoff prediction video. Let me know who you think is going to be the Super Bowl matchup down in the comments and who you think is going to win between those two. Should be an exciting playoff run for all these teams. And I also want to know, why did the Seahawks fire Pete Carroll? I don't get it. It's time for the dark days. All right, well, anyways, I post every single day, so I would appreciate it if you were to subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe as well, and even your family. Share the channel. Let everyone enjoy the love. I got this, you got this, we all got this, and I will see you next time.